Greetings everyone, we will continue our discussion on object-oriented programming through C++. In the previous sessions, we have started about operator overloading, and in the last session I told you about the particular thing called as your friend functions. So in this session we will be looking about the further continuation about friend classes, and also we will be looking about how to overload your operators by using your friend functions. And at last we will be looking at how to overload the assignment operator as well. So first we will be looking at the friend classes, which we have started in the previous session. As I told you, we can have a friend classes in C++. That is, we can use the friend keyword for your classes to implement your friend classes. So in the previous session we have seen the example about the friend class, where you have your friend class declared as a particular friend class in another classes. That is, in this you have declared your class B as a friend class in class A. So when I declare a particular friend class in another class, this particular thing, that this class can use all the data, that is all the operations which are present in this particular thing along with the objects of E. Okay, you can understand that the class B can use all the properties of class A. So how you can use, I have shown in the example. So if you see this example, we have the particular class A. Inside the class A we are having num A, that is one number, and we have declared class B as the friend class. So since you have not yet defined your class B, we are forward declaring the particular class B. Since you have not defined the class B, that is why you have to forward declare, otherwise we will be getting an error. Okay, so next I have taken one constructor of class A and initialized my num A to 12. So we have just done the thing that we are declaring num A. Inside the class A, we have made your class B as the friend class, and we have initialized your num A to the value 12. And then we have defined our class B. Inside the class B, we are having num B, one private variable num B, and we have initialized the num B value as 1, and we have made one addition function or one member function, addition function in class B. So inside that I am creating one object of class A. Why you can create the objects here is, so since class B is a friend of class A, so it can use all the properties of class A. That is why you can declare one object of class A here. So that is why I can create an object here. After that, what I have done is, I have taken object.num A. Since the object A can access the number A, it can use this particular .num A plus num B. Okay, so this is how you can use your friend classes to initialize some different properties like this. And inside the main, I have created the object of B and I have called this add method. So once I call this add method, what you will be getting? So this particular thing, object.num A will initialize your num A to 12. Okay, and we have initialized num B to 1. So when I perform this operation, object A.num A, this value will be taken, and num B, this value will be taken. We are adding both the values and we are returning 13. So this 13 value will come here. Okay, this is how you can create your particular friend classes. We will look at another example. This particular example you have seen in the last session as well. So we look at another example. So if you see this particular example, we are having the usual two statements, that is IOStream and namespace. After that, I have created one class, that is class square. Inside the class square, I have made one class as friend class, that is rectangle class. If you take this program directly, we might get an error since we have not declared the rectangle class. So first we have to declare, that is forward declare this particular class. That is, we have to declare something like class rectangle. So you have to forward declare your class rectangle, since you are using the class rectangle inside the class square. So I have to declare, first declare, after that you can define in any manner, but you have to declare the particular thing, otherwise in some cases we might be getting an error. So what you are doing, you are declaring your rectangle class as friend class in square, and I have one variable that is side as your variable, and we are taking one constructor for your square class and initializing your side to say particular value. Okay, you are going to initialize your side to some value by using your constructor. So I think you can understand, you are having class square. Inside the class square I am making the rectangle class as the friend class. So next we will define the rectangle class. If you see the rectangle class, so inside the rectangle class you have declared two variables, one is length and breadth. After that I have taken one method, that is one method. Inside the method I am taking the area, that is get area method. I am returning the area, that is length into breadth. And next I am taking another method, shape method. So inside the shape method, if you see, I am taking one object of your square. The square, since your rectangle is a friend of your square class, so it can use the particular statement here. So what I am doing, I am taking the particular square object, so which will be passed as an argument in your, while you are calling the function, will be passing your class square object as your argument. What you are doing, I am taking a dot side, whatever the square object which you pass, I am taking that particular side value into length as well as breadth. Okay, for example, if you are taking a square, so you have to create one square object S1. Okay, and when I create the square object, I have to pass the side value. So if I pass the side value, it will go into the constructor. The constructor will initialize the side value as 5. Okay, the constructor will initialize side value as 5. Now, what I have to do, I have to call this particular method by using this particular rectangle. So what I have to do, I have to create a rectangle object. Next, what I have to do, I have to call this shape method. So inside the shape method, I have to pass one object, that is your S1 object. So when I pass S1 object, that S1 dot side, that is S1 dot side is 5 value. That 5 value will go into the rectangle's length as well as it will go into rectangle's breadth. So now your length value will be 5 and your breadth value also will be 5. Okay, once your length value is 5 and breadth value is 5, next I can call this particular method. So I will be calling R1 dot get area. So this is how you can use this particular method. As you can understand, you are using this particular square object. Why? Because since the rectangle is a friend of your particular square class, it can create the object of your particular class. So if you see the actual main how it is happening. So I have done the same thing, that is square object. I am creating a square object and passing the side value as 5. Then I am creating the rectangle object and I am using the rectangle object to call the shape method. Inside the shape method I am passing the square object. Then I am calling the get area method. So as you can see from this particular two examples, you can understand that okay, you can make one class as a friend in another class. Okay, you can make one class as friend in another class. In this particular example, we have made the rectangle class as a friend to your square class. So once after making a particular class as a friend, in this instance the rectangle is the friend of your square. At that particular instance, inside the rectangle class, I can create the objects of your side class. Okay, your friend class can create the objects of your original class. In this example, in the rectangle class, I can use the objects of your side class. Since I can use the objects of your side class, the particular object can access any property of the particular side class. Okay, it might be general variables like your side. So in this example, we have used the side, that is a dot side and a dot side. In the previous examples, if you see, here we have used the num way, that is you have used the number value. Okay, using the object I can use any properties, not only the particular data, I can call the methods as well. That is, if I am having some method here, I can call those methods also. So in the similar manner, in a particular friend class, you can create the objects of your original class and you can call those particular properties of the original class. That is, whatever maybe that is present in class A, I can call all the properties in class B by using the class A objects. In this particular example, I have made your rectangle as a friend class to your square class. Now, in the rectangle class, you can create any number of objects. You can create the objects of your square class, and by creating the objects of the square class, I can access all the properties of your square class. So this is how you will be having your friend classes. Okay, this is how you can declare your friend classes and how can use the friend class objects in your particular programs. So the next thing you have to know is how to overload your operators in friend functions. I think you already know how to overload operators as member functions inside the class. Now we will be looking at how you can overload the same operators, that is, you can overload both your unary operators and binary operators as friend functions. So initially, I already told you, while overloading your particular unary or binary operators in as friend functions, you have to remember one thing. That is, when you overload your unary operators, okay, so when you are overloading your unary operators as member functions, you will be having no arguments. Okay, you have to remember this thing. That is, when you are overloading your unary operator as general member function, you will not be passing any arguments in your operator function. While overloading your binary operators, and when you are overloading as a member function, then you will be passing one argument. Okay, so the same thing, if I use the same operator function as friend function, when I use the same operator function as friend function, at that time, while overloading, you have to pass one argument when you are overloading unary operator, and if you have to pass two arguments while you are overloading binary operators. You have to remember the differentiation between these two things. We have already seen how to overload your unary operator and binary operator by using the member functions. In this session, we will be looking about how to overload your unary and binary operator by using friend functions. So, if you see this example, we have the usual two statements. After that, I have class, that is unary friend class. Inside this, I have declared three variables and initialized them to 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so you need not initialize them. You can have just the declarations like this, int a comma b comma c. You need not initialize them. So you will be having these three values, and you are having separate methods, that is get value methods to get the values of a, b, c. Okay, and you are having show method to print the values of a, b, c. I think you can understand these two functions. Each and every class can be having these two functions, that is get values function to get the input of a, b, c values, and show function to print the values of a, b, c. Next, the important thing you have to understand here is, you are writing the overloading function, that is the operator function. I think you will have to remember this thing from your operator overloading. Here you are overloading unary minus operator. When I am overloading unary minus operator, if you see, I am having initially the return type, then I am specifying it as friend. I think you remember, while writing your friend function, I have to specify friend to tell that this particular function is a friend function and it can be defined outside the scope of your class. And next I am writing operator, that is the keyword. If I specify the operator, it means that it is operator overloading. Next I am specifying minus sign, since I am trying to overload unary minus, then I have to pass one argument. As I told you, when you are overloading unary operator as friend function, I have to use one argument. So the argument I am passing is the reference of this particular class object. The reference of this particular class object. So how to use this particular thing? I think you should remember pass by reference. So this will be object's reference. So inside this, what I have done? So I am defining my friend function outside, that is the unary overloading operator function which I am declared as friend function in your class. I am defining that particular function outside the class. What I have done, void operator, that is the minus, unary minus, and inside that I have passed the reference of the object of your particular class. That particular class, so X will contain both all the three values, that is A, B, C. X will contain all the three data values A, B, C. So that is why I have defined in this manner, X dot A is equal to minus X dot A. What I am trying to do, I am trying to create the negative values for your particular data members. I think you should remember what is the meaning of your operator overloading. So I am trying to create the negative values of all the data items that you have in your particular class. So I am trying to create the negative of A, negative of B and negative of C and store it in the original A, B, C values. So next what I have done inside the main, this is how you have to overload your particular unary operator by using friend function. Next I have first created an object for your class. Okay, after that I have initialized the particular A, B, C values by using the get values function. So if I give the values 10, 20, 30, these will be the values which you derive from get values function. So what I have done, cout before overloading, that is first I am trying to print all the values before overloading. So before overloading the values will be A, B, C, that will be 10, 20, 30. Next after overloading one statement, if you see I am performing minus x1. So you are having the initial object as x1, now I am performing minus x1. When I perform this minus x1, what will happen? So when I perform minus x1, it will go into the operator overloading statement or operator overloading function. Inside that it will make all your particular x, that is A, B, C values as negative values. Now it will be stored as minus 10, minus 20 and minus 30. Next I am trying to print these values. Again I am performing x1.show. So the show will print all the A, B, C values and it will print minus 10, minus 20 and minus 30 values. So what is the basic difference between what you have done before and what you have done now? So in the before operator overloading, you haven't specified any arguments here. Okay, here you are specifying one argument, that will be the object argument what you are passing as class. Okay, that will be you are passing your reference of your class's objects, and you are using this particular class reference to create one negative values to your general values. So with this you are trying to overload your negative operator or unary minus operator. In a similar sense, I will try to overload your binary operator. Okay, this is an example, that is your output will be initially the print will be values of A and B, C. It will print 10, 20, 30, that is you will be giving the values 10, 20, 30. So it will print before overloading 10, 20, 30, after overloading minus 10, minus 20, minus 30. That is how your output will be for this particular program. So in the similar sense, we will try to overload your binary operator. If you see the binary operator, as I told you, while overloading your binary operator, you have to specify two arguments in your operator overloading function. So here we are trying to overload your multiplication operation. So what I am doing, I am taking on class A. Inside the class A, I am taking only one variable A. Okay, one variable A, and I am creating two methods. One is set method, get method. Set method used to use to set your values, that is to give the input of your A value, and get method will be used to print the particular A value. This will be same as your get and show method. Okay, so these two methods are for that particular thing. Next I am creating your operator overloading, that is friend. Then what I have done is, in the previous example we have returned void. Here I am returning the object here, that is why that I am specifying the class name. So I am returning the object, then I am specifying the operator's keyword. Next I am specifying the multiplication symbol, since I am trying to overload the multiplication, and I am passing two objects here. As I told you, since it is a binary operator and I am trying to overload using a friend function, I am using two arguments. So Inside the set, I am setting the a value to 5 and get I am printing the particular value. That is these two methods, set method and get method. Set method will set a value to 5 and get method will print your a value. And if you see the overloading part, what you have done? So we have declared that particular friend function in the class. Now I am trying to define the same function here. So your return type is the object a, and you have specified the keyword operator. Then I am specifying the multiplication symbol, and I am taking two objects as arguments. If you see, in order to multiply, what I have to do? I have to take object 1's a value and I have to take object 2's a value and multiply these two value and return it as an object. So in order to return it as an object, I am creating one temporary object. Okay, temporary object. Inside the temporary object, temporary also will be having its own a. That object also will be having its own a. Object 1 has its own a. Object 2 has its own a. So we'll multiply object 1's a and object 2's a, and we'll store the result in this particular value. Okay. So this is how we'll return the particular temporary object. How this thing will work, you will see in main. So first I have created two objects, object 1 and object 2. Object 1 dot set a. So at that time what will happen? We will be having object 1 and it will be having one a, and since I am setting, the value a will become 5. Now I am taking object 2 dot set. I am taking another object 2 and it will be having its own a. Since I am calling set, the value will become 5. Next what I am doing? So first we will print those values. What are the values? That is object 1 dot get a means it will print this value. Object 2 dot get a means it will print this value. I am just printing before performing your multiplication what are the values of object 1's a and object 2's a. After that what I am doing? I am taking another third object. Object 3 is equal to object 1 into object 2. So when I perform this one, object 1 into object 2, what will happen? This thing will go here. Okay, when I perform object 1 into object 2, it will go here. That is, object 1 will be passed as first argument, object 2 will be passed as second argument. So it will multiply these two things. That is, it will multiply 5 and 5, and 25 value will be present in temporaries object. Okay, 25 value will be present in temporaries object. When I return temp, the particular 25 value will go into object 3. That is, now this particular temporary value will go into object 3. Now object 3a will contain 25 and I am printing by using get a method. That is object 3 dot get a. Object 3, I think you can understand this particular example. So object 3 dot get a means it will print whatever the value that is present in object 3 a's statement, that is 25. So this is how you will be performing your binary operator overloading using your friend functions. So we will continue about this particular thing about friend functions and operator overloading, and also we will be learning about overloading your assignment operator as well in the next session. We will conclude this session here. Thank you.